and I did not dare to press her. "Tell me where we are going," I asked at last to distract myself from all my discomforts. "To one of the greatest Dorans in the land. This country, you know, has many women of power, but Angharad is one of great power, and she has offered to teach you." "What sort of power will I have?" "The mending sort, the healing kind," Uni said shortly and crossly, "if you are ever ready for it, when you can use it rightly." That night seemed interminably long, and it was dreadful to have to set off walking again. My feet were now so swollen that I could only hobble along with difficulty. My hunger had mysteriously vanished, as it does when no food is in prospect, though I felt quite weak and occasionally a little faint. We paused only once to drink water from a spring. Then in the late afternoon we breasted a hill overlooking the sea, and Uni pointed to a little house set in the valley, with the sparkling waters of a lake behind it. Smoke was rising from the smoke hole, and there was something about the house that was pleasing and reassuring. I quickened my painful steps. When we got nearer, I could see something bright-colored hanging over the wall of a storehouse. There were patches of vivid red and yellow and green, but I was almost too tired to wonder about them, still less to ask questions. It took us a while longer to reach the house, and by the time we did it was nearly dark. Uni lifted the latch, and we entered a shadowy, firelit room in which Angharad, a woman of graceful middle age, rose to greet us. The large fire made the room deliciously warm. There was a scent of a rich, meaty stew in the air. I unwrapped the blanket from my head and stood uncertainly in the soft firelight, feeling as if I might burst into tears. The room swirled disturbingly around me, just when I wanted so much to look at it. I had a horrible feeling that I was going to be sick, and then I was aware of Angharad catching me as I fell. When I came to from my faint, Angharad was gently easing the boots from my swollen feet. "When did you last eat?" she was asking Uni. I was aware at once of the comfort and refinement of life in Angharad's house, and felt ashamed of my dirty clothes and ragged blanket. But Angharad showed no sign of despising us. When I felt better, it was lovely to be drawn toward the fire, though the heat caused my toes to itch furiously. To sit in a comfortable chair and fill my hungry stomach, my appetite had sprung back to life at the first sniff of the stew. There was a sort of step with cushions on it around the hearth, and a big chair. In one corner stood a loom strung in brilliant colors, and in another corner a ladder passed up into a shadowy chamber. The chair, the table, and the cushions were covered in bright fabric, in the palest pink, rosy orange, a deep inky blue, all of them glowing like jewels in the half-dark of the firelight. The color, the comfort, and the rich taste of the stew could not have been more different from the hardships of Uni's hut. There was also a smell of roses, one that I would later know seemed to pervade Angharad's house. To this day I can never smell a rose without remembering her. Angharad, wearing a pretty red gown, with her shining fair hair and her gentle apple-cheeked face, was not in the least like Uni. She reminded me a little of my mother, and I was instantly drawn to her. While she talked to Uni, a conversation about people who were unknown to me, I was aware of her readiness to include me, the way her gray eyes turned to me and smiled with a sympathy to which I had grown unaccustomed. At the same time, her hands were busy with her spindle. Gradually I grew warmer and relaxed on my cushion, but was immediately aware of a desperate need to sleep. Suddenly